thank you all for coming. And the first part is interactive because we want you to have an experience that we have at the Ananda European Center, which is we do everything in multiple languages. So, how is everyone?
Awake and ready!
How feels everyone?
Awake and ready!
Are you ready to do this in 4 languages?
Yes!
Please stand up, watch the board, and here we go.
So we start with the easiest one. I am awake and ready, 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 I am awake and ready.
Italiano, sono desto e pronto, 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 sono desto e pronto.
Estoy dispuesto y preparado, estoy dispuesto y preparado, estoy dispuesto y preparado, estoy dispuesto y preparado, estoy dispuesta y preparada, estoy dispuesto y preparado.
The most easiest. Я проснулся и готов. 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 Я проснулся и готов.
So I wanted to just welcome you all first and just share a little bit about what we're doing as Ananda Europa. I am Nayaswami Anand and my wife Nayaswami Kirtani. We are called the directors. You don't really direct Italians. They, after all, are the culture that drives beyond the highway lines rather than between the highway lines. So, but you don't direct the Italians, you be with them, and that's the wonderful thing about their culture, is that we really have this sense of being together, of a spiritual family. So I want to just say a little bit, as on an outer level, Ananda Assisi is exploring a little bit of what we can do to work with the European community more, to establish an entity that we can work with as we develop our World Brotherhood colonies, because here in America we pick it up by the church. Pia was just telling me at lunch that in India they pick it up from the trust level, and they can do everything they need to do here and there under those entities, but we're very fractioned in Italy about how we can, we have to just form a different bureaucratical organizational body for almost every single thing that we try to do. So one of the things that we just attended was a conference in Scotland. It was on climate change and consciousness, but it involved a lot of different communities around the world. Kirtani and I had the good fortune to have lunch with an environmental activist that some of you probably will be familiar with her name. Her name is Vandana Shiva. And when I explained a little bit about Ananda and what we're doing, she also has developed a community in Dehradun to try to set models for how to approach this really worldwide crisis in the environment, with the environment. And she said something that's very important for all of us to hear. She said, what you are doing as Ananda in Assisi, but Ananda as the culture, she said, we don't have an energy model that works. We don't have a labor model that works. Consumerism is broken. We don't have transportation models that work. She said, the only solution is these colonies. So she said it 3 times, the only solution is to develop these kinds of colonies. And as we saw the other day with Master's aims and ideals, to build self-sustaining world brotherhood colonies. So that's one of the external kinds of things we're beginning to work with, but I want to also just hand it over to the community, because one of the things that's the most rewarding, I'm sure most everybody in this room feels this with whatever level of involvement you have with communities, but one of the most rewarding things is that when you meditate and serve together with the same people for 10, 20, or 30 years, there's a bond that grows. You begin to share a depth and a sense of belonging with each other, and that is so very much not only needed, but so very much a rewarding way to live your lives. And so I think today you're going to see a little bit of how we express that at Ananda Assisi. And I think we'll start first with some music from the choir, and then we'll go from there with a little video and some other sharing. Okay, I welcome the choir.
So we've made a video for you about our community, and we hope you enjoy it.
Home is a green hill, home is a wind, blowing betrayal far, far away. Home is the knowledge heaven is near, home's the end of the fray.
Words and customs vary like waves upon the sea. One life beneath the surface binds everyone to me. Who knows himself?
By the grace of our masters, estou calmo. Daniel Frère.
Tú eres libre.
Я сам будан и спремен.
Я проснулся и готов.
Я сам позитивен.
Energičen.
Enthousiasta!
Ik ben positief.
Энтузиаст.
Ananda para mí es vitalidad, energía, vida.
Ананда для меня радость общения, любовь, принятие, открытие, инсайты. Я вас люблю!
Схватила радость нас, все мы братья.
Diverse le parole, la mentalità, ma dentro ogni uomo c'è la divinità che dice siete tutti fratelli, che dice siete tutti fratelli.
O Herr, aus ganzem Herzen,
Con tutta la mia mente.
Svojom dušom svojom.
and mit all my kraft.
I choose thy love. I choose only thee.
Yes, it's she, the Divine Mother, she who made the universe. Yes, it's she, the Divine Mother, ruler of every heart's desire. Love more ancient, bliss eternal, may
all trials we sing thy name.
Truffa internazionale, una setta pseudo-religiosa umbra nel mirino della Guardia di Finanza, associazione per delinquere e usura tra i reati ipotizzati.
Through all trials we sing thy name. Joy in thee is life's sole aim. Through all trials we sing thy name. Joy in thee is life's sole aim.
I understand and fully accept that the true purpose of life for all human beings is to seek God.
My Lord, I will be thine always. My Lord, I will be thine always. When I die, look into mine eyes. When I die, look into mine eyes. They will mutely say, I will be thine always.
Shri Guru Deva Om, Shri Guru Deva Om,
Shri Guru Deva Om, Shri Guru Deva
Shri Guru Deva Om, Shri Guru Deva Om.
didn't plan in any time for tears. So, would like you to meet some of the people from Ananda Europa who are here right now. So, those who are living in Ananda Assisi, please stand up so we can see you and recognize you. We have representatives of a few of our groups around Italy. First from Guarda Bisogni. Quello. Please stand up. From Napoli, where's Mira? She's not here, but we'll recognize our group from Napoli as well. Arezzo. From Liguria. We have a work in Spain. Those of you from Spain, would you please stand up? There's a wonderful retreat center in Spain, in Leon. We have centers in the south with Lakshmi and other places. And there are now, Indrani is an Ananda light bearer and a Naya Swami. We have Ananda yoga teachers and Ananda meditation teachers. And also in Russia. Can our Russian brothers and sisters please stand up? There's a wonderful retreat center there. It's called Yoga Dome Ananda. And there are many, many activities there. We also go to do yoga teacher training, meditation teacher training. Just in the last few days at the International Yoga Day in Moscow, there was a very big presentation from Ananda Russia, and we are very proud to have you as part of our family. Is Bharati from Germany here? Yes, please stand up. We have centers also in Germany. And would like to share a little bit. Who are you pointing to? What? Palermo. Palermo. Sicily. And excuse me? Okay, we're going to share Parma. Parma. Thank you. Now we're going to share a little bit about our life at Ananda Europa with you, and we're going to start with Jayadev.
So I will talk about our guest retreat. And the main feature maybe that we have is that we are so many different cultures. So our courses are translated usually, how many languages do we have? 2, 3 languages. And it is very interesting, the whole thing. I just got notes myself, and I think it will be very surprising for our own people how many courses and so on we actually have. We have a very successful retreat. All the time, you must imagine, we have 5 days courses, weekend courses, and coming from all over, speaking all languages, having all cultures and so on. And what do you think? How many persons a year come to our center? Just guess. 2,000 a year. 2,000? Anyone? 8,000. Oh, okay, no. 3,500 bodies, different people come to our center. Altogether, 12,000 nights, and we sleep 100 people. So we have 100 people who can come to us at a time. 104, we're shooting for 108 actually. And oftentimes we're much more in the summer. So we have many happy neighbors who have so-called agriturismi, little hotels or bed and breakfasts, you would call it in America. And so we give a lot of opportunity and income to our county. I think we are the most successful business in the whole of our county. So they are very happy with us. You know, we are in the summer we have up to 250 people. And I must tell you, Swamiji, you know, we had a discussion in the beginning. Do we really want to have coffee? Coffee is in the dining room. Maybe you don't even know. Because it's not really sattvic food or so. But Swami said, I remember it clearly, he said, if our guests, Italian guests come and it's all so different already, and if they don't have good coffee, and if they don't have good food, they will not enjoy themselves. They will not be able to relax. So he gave a lot of importance to good food and to the coffee. and I mean, who of you has been there? Who of you have been at our place? We have a absolutely super kitchen, and you know, the Italians, you can't fool around with Italians. If you do a pasta, this pasta goes with this sugo and so on and so forth. Well, okay. And how many courses a year do you think we offer to our guests? That's surprising too. How many courses in a year? What do you think? 320 courses a year we offer. That means many, many times we have 3-4 courses parallel, and many of them are being translated into, you know, all these languages. We have 35 people on staff and many more living around and doing other things, what you'll hear afterwards. And 20 of them are teachers, and we teach all of us, you know, we have to have many languages. If you want to come to us, you'd better learn Italian, and, and you better learn at least Italian and English, okay? So, and very briefly, I will tell you the newest development of our center. We have created an academy, Yogananda Academy, and it's sort of to train teachers of our teachings to go out there and teach themselves, because we can't all do it. And so our academy has 3 schools. One is Ananda Yoga, just like here, and it's very different, the system in Europe than in America. Here you have 1 month's course. That's totally unknown in Europe. In Europe, there's a minimum of 2 years that you have to do. And often it's 1 weekend per month that most schools do. And we have sort of a middle thing. We have 7 intensive weeks for the first level. 7 weeks, and full time from morning to evening, they get the immersion. And we are training Ananda Yoga teachers, and many of them now have their own groups, like in Arezzo and everywhere, and they are building their own centers, you know, yoga centers. And for us, Ananda Yoga, and maybe for you also, you know, is a preparation for Raja Yoga. Ananda Yoga is leading. So many people do yoga, hundreds, everyone. It's a fashion, but nobody meditates. But our yoga is a yoga, obviously, that brings us to Raja Yoga, and that is our second school. It's the Ananda Yoga, the Raja Yoga school, and Shivani is heading it up and has taught other teachers to teach, you know, these courses. And it's all the Raja Yoga teachings, you know, from Swami and Master, all the teachings that we have, also 7 weeks, right? And the teachers are teaching out there, which is really what we need. Sometimes Roy Eugene Davis said, in the future there will be a need for teachers of self-realization, and there won't be enough of them. So we want to train these people. He was quoting Master. Okay, thank you. Master said. And the last one is maybe the unique one, because you here have Ananda Yoga and you here have Raja Yoga. But there's a super new development, and Shivani has founded it, and it has been a dream of her for a long time. And it's the life therapy school. And it's teachings of Yogananda and Swamiji on healing. Of course, number one is how life therapy, Yogananda, it's a term of Yogananda. It's the life force, how to heal yourself with life force. So there's a whole week on it. It's also 7 weeks, Shivani, correct me. And there's also other things, about relationships, spiritual counseling of Swami Kriyananda. His whole teaching of counseling, there's a super week how to learn that. And of course, many more things. So that was very briefly what we do. We have one desire, that you all come to visit us.
I have 6 minutes, so I'm... So, hello everyone, I'm Mahia, and Shivani asked me to talk about the community aspect of Ananda Assisi. So the community was founded, let's say, out of the retreat center. So the retreat center has always been the main energy at Ananda Assisi, but very recently, the real community has been started to be born, so it's a very special and exciting moment now. Yogananda gave specific principles for how he wanted the World Brotherhood colonies to be founded, which Swami carried out, and in each colony, they're manifested in different ways, and one of the most special things in Ananda Assisi is the particular energy it holds. In 2016, we had a New Wave convocation in which 20 New Wavers came from America and India, and we also had the Ananda Assisi New Wavers. We had various activities. We were together for 10 days, doing service, just being together and sharing. And afterwards, everyone went home, and we had a meeting with the Ananda Assisi New Wavers, just a sharing circle to see how everything went. And everyone started sharing, and people were so impressed by the American qualities, which are self-confidence, courage, energy. Go out and do it. We can do anything. And there was a little bit of energy starting to be created of, us Italians or us from Europe, we're feeling a little bit inadequate, a little bit less, we don't have those qualities, we're a bit behind. And there is the tendency to feel like that also when we see your amazing temple that you've manifested and we still struggling to build ours. But it was very interesting in that meeting because there was an American there who had just moved to Ananda Assisi. And he said, I'd like to just give you another perspective from outside, from an American point of view. He said, what you've got here in Italy is so special, and I can assure you that the Americans are saying exactly the same about you, but these are the qualities which we see in you. Deep, profound, how do you say, profoundness? Profound. Depth. Whenever you speak, it comes from your core, it comes from your center, it comes from your feeling. That's the quality that Italy holds, and we all know that it lives in the heart. So everything that the Italians express starts from that place of profundity and from deep feeling. And honestly, I think that creates a huge feeling of connection between us. It's very particular. There's a very deep feeling of family. If I had to choose a word to describe what's going on in Ananda Assisi, I'd say connection and family. And I'm very, very grateful for my Italian friends and that Master sent me there. And it manifests as well on an outward level. I mean, family is such a part of the Italian culture, like we all know. And it's very interesting that the way that we're set up in Ananda Assisi is actually quite unique. We have, as Jayadev was saying, and I was just saying, we have the retreat center, which is the main activity going on. So 35 or even more of us are serving there. We eat together every day with the guests. We meditate every day with the guests. We serve together every day with the guests. And the guests love it. We love it. Sometimes it's a little intense. And until now, we've never had our own place to just be and connect and be a family, because that's also really important, to feel nourished as a community. And it was an aspect that was a little bit missing until recently, but that's when I said at the beginning, the community is just starting to be born. It's happened in these very particular ways recently. It's just the moment of community now. So it started one significant thing that happened last year was we found our own space to be together as a community. And we started to create a community center in our art academy, which Dana is there most of the year, but when she was away, we would meet. And so we started studying together, playing together. We would have teas together. We would watch films together. We would meditate together and just be together as a family. And that's been really significant for us. And now it's like the energy was born, but it wasn't connected to a place. It wasn't the community center that was important. It was the family feeling and connection that was important. So we became homeless after a certain amount of time because Dana needed to come back in and occupy the art academy. So we thought, where do we want to go? And something very beautiful happened, that we had many choices where we could go, but the community as a whole decided, you know, we want to go and give energy to Terre di Luce, which is our farming, the agricultural part of our community. Let's take our energy and bring it there. So we've just made this decision to unite family and farm, these two really fundamental aspects of community, and we're going to have a lot of fun there. We've just entered, and I think it's very important. It's a hugely important part of Master's vision of community, of Swami's vision of community, and we're just beginning to create it. So there are very few people at Terre di Luce. They don't have a big staff. They're not able yet to produce the amount of food to feed everybody. But by bringing our energy there, even just to have fun together there, just to be together there, we're hoping to really create a magnetism that will really integrate farming into our community. And it's just so beautiful to be. We're all doing a lot of service, but anything we do at Terre di Luce is extra service. So we've started having these mornings where we go down at 7 in the morning till 9 in the morning, and you're just there with your gurubais. You're just with your gurubais, planting, weeding, the sun's coming up. There's just a feeling of peace, of wellness, of wholeness, of being in nature and living community. It's beautiful. And how many minutes do I have left? I'm going to just wrap up by saying we have a new land, and we're very excited to go there next, and we're building houses, so that energy is starting slowly, and we have lots of businesses at Ananda. I was supposed to talk about all of this, but I don't have time, so that's what we're doing in a nutshell.
Hello everybody, I'm Darshan, also living at Ananda Assisi, but originally I was born in Holland, even though I spent about 26 years of my life in beautiful sunny Italy. I'd like to give some energy to the theme of outreach. And the first outreach, of course, was done by Master himself. Very significantly, when Swami Sri Yukteswar called him after he had been for 15 years here in this great country, called him back home because he knew he was going to leave his body. He could have taken not a plane, but a boat and go straight to India. He didn't. He bought actually a big car and he went to Europe. First he went to Great Britain, and then he went to Germany, Nazi Germany, where he interviewed one of the great saints of our modern times and dedicated a whole interview, a whole chapter to that in his autobiography, which is maybe one of the most significant chapters in the book, because it shows how the energization exercises have their roots in Christ's teachings. And then the second great outreach, of course, was done by our beloved Swamiji himself. And I will never forget how in 1985, the great love, the joy, the warmth of his heart, and the enormous willpower that he put into getting the work started here, back there, on the other side of the pond. He started in Italy, and also Swami himself has very strong European roots. We must remember that. He was born in Europe. It came natural to him both to communicate with Italians, but also with Germans, with the Spanish, with the Dutch. I was with him in Holland. And it was a very natural part of his personality. In fact, I met him through his talks that he gave, his early talks, talk tapes. I listened to those when I was a young boy, 20 years old, and I was lying in my bed in my little student room, and he was speaking to Americans there. And it was a completely different Swami from the Swami that you meet when you see him speak to Europeans. So outreach is very important, and Swami and Jyotish, Naya Swami Jyotish, speaking to I think it was the New Mumbai Center, said that the to-do list of things to be done to help Master and Swami to manifest, help this work grow in the world is endless. It's still very long. It will go on for 10 years, 20 years. In fact, when you see this, of course it's beautiful. Of course it's touching. And at the same time, I have this to-do list in my mind. For example, yes, we are at a good point with Europe, but our community is essentially an Italian community, which has all the qualities, the hard qualities and everything. Italian is the language spoken by most people, which is a good thing. Because Italy is not the geographical heart of Europe. In fact, it's in the periphery, it's in the south. But it's the spiritual heart of Europe. Nowhere else is there so much devotion and warmth and history also that makes a center like Ananda, work like Ananda possible. But the outreach is very important. So just to pick up where Jayadev started also talking about Raja Yoga and how beautiful, in fact, it would be if our courses like Ananda Yoga and Raja Yoga could be united and could be one, like it is in Swami's book. But when you talk about teachers training, it has to be so thorough in Europe that you cannot have an Ananda teachers training that you have both Raja and Ananda Yoga. So they're sort of separate. I hate to say it, but it's true. And Raja Yoga is a more difficult to magnetize because it is more specifically about Master's teachings. So, but having said that, it's still spreading. It is still going out. And we have already what I feel great accomplishment. There will soon be, like Shivani said, there will soon be many teachers of self-realization in Russia. We went there together, when was it, a few months ago. We will go again in September. And it's important to know that these courses are basically based on experience. They involve many, many hours of deep meditation, diving into the teachings, practicing introspection, learning how to speak in public, and many of those things. So you don't just become a meditation teacher with our Raja Yoga course, you become a teacher of self-realization. And that is the best we can do right now to help Master spread his presence, not just in Italy, but also in Europe. Russia's far away. It's a huge country. I was amazed when I was there. It just never ends. Where do you come from? Oh, from Novosibirsk, 4 hours by plane. to Moscow, more than we spend to fly from Rome to Moscow. So, and Jayadev has also been there, by the way. So Ananda Yoga is also spreading in Russia. There are already 4 or 5 qualified teachers, let's call them teachers of self-realization in Holland. There are teachers in Spain. So it's a big thing. And the third thing that we are doing for our outreach regards online, and there too, when I hear, like what Mahia mentioned, when I see what people here in this community and other communities are doing, I develop a little inferiority complex. But Devi said, no, please don't. So, but I've often thought we live in the vibration of a great saint, Saint Francis. He's also a saint of Kali Yuga. He lived in Kali Yuga, but his vibration has so much power, and that transcends the yugas. And if we just be ourselves at that, then we will move on. We will just go a little bit more slowly than people do in America. But in Holland, they say people who bloom slowly bloom well. So beware. So our online, this is personally for me one of my great joys. There's a lot of joy in everything we do, but I can work with our younger people, and as Ananda, you know, you're young when you're under 75. No, I'm joking. Younger people, really younger people, and you know, it's still like what Mahia said about Terre di Luce. It's too small, the team. We need more people, more who have more time to dedicate to this work, because online is, again, a never-ending job. But just to close with one little miracle, which I consider a miracle. I was here, I think, 2 years ago, and I got time to speak with Gyandev, who is the pioneer of online teachers training, apart from being also the great Ananda Yoga teacher, first Ananda Yoga teachers trainer. And he explained to me everything that he had done to get this going, and the online meditation and everything. And so I went back with, how are we ever going to do this, you know? And then in the summer of 2018, we had a long satsang with Jyotish and Devi. And Devi was very clear. She said, you must develop this online service. You have reached a plateau of what you can give as a retreat, and that will continue, and it must continue, and it will go deeper and deeper. If not in numbers, it will become deeper. But you must develop. And then Shivani said, okay, I promise that before the end of the year we'll do something. And so then she went into a flow, like one of those flows that she goes into. And I think like in 2 or 3 weeks, she wrote an online meditation course. And I looked at it, and it was exactly the way Gyandev and other people who I had spoken to about meditation online had said how it works. And she did it just like without that. So I guess it's like with the 100 meters, the record. And for years, I think it was the record of 9 seconds or 10 seconds was never broke. One broke it, and then the others were free to go. And I think Gyandev broke the record, and then Shivani could do this course, and we will all go on with that. So I would like you especially to keep in your prayers our outreach. Not just in Italy, there are wonderful, our Italian teachers are doing a wonderful job, but also in Germany, Holland, the Balkan, everywhere. And the greatest joy, what makes it the greatest joy, of course it takes our willpower, our energy, but what makes it really, really worthwhile is to see with what enormous enthusiasm and love we are received everywhere we go. That makes us just feel that it's not our work, it's Master's work. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Prem Jyoti, and I have the honor to serve in Education for Life, Educare alla Vita in Europe and in Italy. I will be brief, but we have many things happening with Education for Life. 2 years ago, there was the need, the feeling, it's too low, that the school, the community school, needed to go down and serve more families and more children. So we came down to the valley, and we've just finished the first year of school with 25 children and beautiful families that have really created their own small community, spontaneous community. We only have one child from Ananda, and the rest are families that are Buddhist, Sufi, from many, many backgrounds, but are really discovering the wonder of Education for Life, seeing through the transformation of their children, the joy and the serenity and the autonomy and all of that Education for Life gives. We have a kindergarten, and we just finished the first grade, so it's the first year, with a great group of teachers. We have Cora here, that is one of the main columns of the school, and Elisa, that is not here right now, but we have a great team of teachers. And something that has happened was that spontaneously, at the same time as we were working on the school, we had many people asking for teacher training. So we activated the teacher training with simultaneous translation. So Nitai gives the teacher training. And we've done in 2 years more than 100 teachers or some few parents that have taken the complete teacher training, at least the first part. And this has awakened interest, so we are invited by communities or meditation groups or people to give presentations. And so we go out and give presentations, and then schools manifest. So we have right now the school in close to Perugia. We have a school with 10 children in Orvieto that opened in September, a school in Pordenone that opened a bit before us, and that has a very beautiful number, and that is becoming Education for Life. And at the same time now we have a school in Milan that wants to open next year, and one in Faenza. So in 2 years, all of this has a lot of energy moving, a lot of blessings, much. This is a real blessed project. And we see the grace of Master and of Swamiji every step of the way. So when we sit down and say, okay, this is like a bit too much, but things happen, and we try not to say no and to go on with it. And somehow it's happening in the right way. I will just tell you a small, just to close. We had a parent that came before we closed the school, and he said that he was discussing, he had an argument with his mother, and they were both shouting. And their little 4-year-old stood in front of the dad and said, "Papa, respira, breathe." So this is what is happening.
So I'm just going to say a few words about the Art Academy. It was obviously a very important part of Swamiji's vision to have the arts be more and more of what we do here as devotees and as creators of a new civilization. And the way that it's set up kind of reflects the 2 or 3 aspects of the work. One is in the front, there's a gallery. And in the gallery, there's beautiful artwork. And that's something that is important to all of us. And as Swamiji taught, vibration affects our consciousness, and the art that we have around us can either uplift or degrade our consciousness. So we have a way to show art that uplifts and refines our consciousness. And then in the back, we have a studio. And in the studio, there's a different kind of teaching that is being lived, and that is opening the creative channel, because every single one of us may not be an artist who paints fine art pictures, but every single one of us needs to open the channel so that the creative energy can flow through us. And when we open the channel for creative flow, we open it also for the flow of all of the divine energy. So it's really a practice like yoga to open the channel and raise the energy and increase the flow of energy. And so that's what happens in the back, our little studio. And the other aspect of what happens at the Academy is community making and community building. This is partly happening in the new land and in the community that Mejia talked about. But it also happens when we create culture together. Because as yogis and as devotees on this path, it's so important that we start to live not from imbibing the culture around us and learning, receiving all of our messages from television and radio and media, but creating things, plays and skits and things that are coming from us, the music. And it's such an important part of Ananda, something that Swamiji brought to all of us, that P.G. Wodehouse stories, music, concerts, plays. It's the beautiful thing about Ananda. At every single colony you have this, that the arts are being brought forth and culture is really being created. And this culture is something that is going to be very important in years to come for the whole of the world. We're few and happy few at these moments, but but things are growing. And Italy is an especially beautiful place to be doing this. The phrase Bella Italia is one that's known the world over, because the land of Italy loves beauty, and it creates beauty, and it appreciates beauty. And so I also feel that the Ananda community in Assisi is one that specializes in beauty, in the gardens, and the way that we create things, and in the way that Kriya dinners are served after a Kriya initiation. The table is set with flowers and fine linens, and it's just an aspect of beauty that's brought to every single aspect of life in Italy. And that's an important part of the spiritual path. It's something that you saw in everything Swami did. There was beauty in his home, and his words, and the way that he treated people. And so it's part of the mission of the Awakening Arts Academy and the Academy of Art, Creativity, and Consciousness to nourish that. And so that's my small contribution. Thank you.
I'm Nandini. Namaste to you all. It's really a joy to be here to share this historical moment together in this spirit of light, love, and divine friendship. It's really moving for my heart. So Shivani asked me to speak very briefly about Ananda Edizioni, which is the Italian publishing house, which was founded in 2001 to fulfill Swamiji's dream to have his books and master's books published in Italian. So we've started with great joy, great enthusiasm, and it was a great blessing to have Swamiji with us. And if you close your eyes, you can certainly visualize Swamiji's smile when he was releasing a new book, writing a new book, and the incredible amount of vibration and energy that he impressed and infused in every book. And you certainly remember the wonderful, memorable launches we had in Italy, in Milan, in Rome, also in many other cities in Spain, in America, in India. So the wonderful energy that Swamiji put in this mission. So it was truly a blessing to work with him. and also a challenge sometimes. Swamiji was very fast in writing books. He wrote a book after another, and he was lovingly pushing us to print the book as soon as possible because he wanted to see the book published. And we worked with an extraordinary team in Italy. We had a great translator who is there, Sahaja. She was very fast and efficient and attuned. And we had a great designer, Tejindra, wonderful editors, Massimo and Manuela, who are here. And so we have been able to print practically all of Swamiji's books when in his lifetime. And the last book he wrote, will be released at the end of this week. So it's a novel, Love Perfected, Lie Divine, which in Italian will be Sarò per sempre tuo, I will be thine always. And so we are very happy to announce that it will be released this week or next week, very soon. So after Swamiji's passing, we've continued with the same enthusiasm and joy and great energy to print these books. Because as Shivani said this morning and Asha said, he's always with us. He's guiding the publishing house, he's giving a lot of energy, a lot of power, and so everything is going very well. And after his passing, we've continued, and Ananda Edizioni has known a period of great expansion, especially in 2016 with the release of the edition of our autobiography of a yogi for the 70th anniversary. And we are going on. We have other authors, of course, Jyotish, Devi, Asha, and Bharat, but also in Italy we have Jayadev, who is writing so many books, 15 now. There is Saja, Anadi, and Mahia, and we have many new opportunities to spread these teachings, and we are always trying to find new ways, creative ways to present these contents, not only in paper but also, of course, ebooks, but now audiobooks. So we are converting the whole catalog of books into audio, which is the latest trend in publishing now. So we are very confident that these books will continue to spread. Of course, we can't ignore there is a crisis in the book publishing world nowadays, but we are guided and blessed to have Swamiji's presence, Master's presence, and your blessings and prayers with us to continue this mission, which was very dear to Swamiji, as you all know. And Swamiji once told me the essence of the Bhagavad Gita is a book for eternity. But I think all these books are eternal books. They speak the eternal truths. They are beacons of light. So they deserve to be spread more and more, not only in Italy, but also in every country. In Spain, there is Ananda Edizione, Sindrani is here, and of course in America, in India, everywhere. They are really priceless treasures. And so we work very strongly and intensely with great enthusiasm in this mission. So we ask for your blessings and prayers that we may continue. And I'm sure that this book will continue to touch countless souls everywhere. So I thank you for reading the books and sharing the books and being friends of the books. And I ask you all to bow to Swamiji's for the priceless and extraordinary legacy he has left us with these writings and all what he has created. So thank you, Swamiji.
Hi, I'm Deodan. I'm part of the community team. My title is The Next 50 Years at Ananda Europa in 0 minutes. It's a record. So I have to speak fastly. My life mantra is let's go ahead. So what do we have to do in the next 50 years? To go ahead. It's very simple. Gyandev some months ago went to Ananda Assisi, and he told us an important things during his beautiful satsang. He told us sometimes or often during the path we have to chop wood and bring water. Chop wood and bring water. Without seeing the results of our action, of our meditation. So what do we have to do in the next 50 years? To go ahead, chopping wood and bringing water, chopping wood and bringing water. We are here to carry on the vision of Yogananda and Swamiji. And if needed, we will go to the north, south, east and west, everywhere, to share the Kriya Yoga teaching, to create new colonies. I don't remember the name. Colonies, everywhere. So, Swamiji and Yogananda are here. I like to share, fastly, a story. The first day that I come here in America. For me, it was very, very important. So, before leave Italy, I made all preparation trip at my best. I request a credit card because I have to rent a car. So, I've taken the international license to be able to drive here in America. I paid all cost with my credit card, and this is the point. I paid all cost with my credit card, so I maxed out my credit card. I don't have more credit on credit card. And the day before I thought, maybe I would have some problems. Because maybe where I rent a car, they ask me a deposit. And my prevision, my prophecy, has happened. When I arrive to the San Francisco airport, I pray softly, please, Swamiji, you are with me, help me. Okay, I'm tranquil. I arrived to the first person. Okay, can I have my car? They say no. We need to $100 or $200 as deposit. You have only €30, so it's impossible. Why? I lost all my money. Yes. Another, can I have my car? No, I lost my money. Yes. Slap. Another one, can I have the car? No, slap. I lost my money. Yes, another slap. After, it's real, I trust. After 1 hour and 30 of slapping, I'm start to become hungry. I'm sorry, angry. Also hungry, but angry. Very angry to Swamiji. And interior, I said in a strongly way to him, Swamiji, you must help me. I did all my best. I know, I'm not perfect. I did some mistake, but I arrived at this point. Now you must help me you to do the rest. I promised to Shivani to take care of headsets, so I have arrived 15 minutes before each day for lesson, and I have to leave each 15 minutes later after the lesson. So I need the car for my service, in a strong way. Immediately the door opens, arrive another man with the face more relaxed than the others. He smile, and instinctively I gave him the paper. He took my reservation. He put $0 as deposit. He printed the paper. He told me, oh, your car is in the second level. You can take the steps, otherwise you can take the lift. Have a nice day here in America. Enjoy. I was shocked. Incredible. I never met Swamiji, but I felt his power, his super conscious. Swamiji is here for help us. And this is one of a moment of more important of my life, because I touch this. So what we have to do in a practical mode now in Ananda Europa. Sorry, no. This is important. Not in 50 years before. Repay the loan. So for our community, it's important to cover our energetic hole. And Swamiji, you must help us. It's very important. finish to build the Temple of Joy, because as community we have to close an energetic circle and start to building the new eco-village on the new land, because as community we has to open the new era. So, again, for the last time, what we have to do for the 50 years? Go ahead, chopping wood, bringing water, enjoy, singing to God with Swamiji and Yogananda on the heart, and look straight ahead to our goal of self-realization.
We are proud of Deodan for many reasons, but one is doing this speech in English. You all remember that Master came to this country feeling like he didn't know the language, and he had to give his first talk on the ship coming over, and it was silent like for 5 minutes as he was trying to gather the language, and finally he said, "Guru, help." And the guru's voice came, "You can do it." And he just started speaking in English. And he didn't understand anything that he said afterwards, but I think Deodan will. He does know what he's saying. Thank you. So, I will be speaking tomorrow, and I'm so happy that all of you came, because you have received a lot of detail about our life in Europe and at Ananda Assisi and the work that we're doing there that I will not cover in the time that I have tomorrow. And so it's such a blessing for our people from Europe to come here and experience what Ananda is here. It expands their vision. It's so important for you to be here and hear what Ananda Assisi and Europe is doing, because it expands your vision of what Master is trying to do in this world. And I would like to finish, because it's time to finish, asking you to stand and we'll chant Om 3 times. The first Om, I would like you to focus on blessing all of what you have heard today about Master's work in Europe through all of these people and through all of Ananda Europa. And the second Om, I would like you to see, to feel that you're drawing the Om blessing through all of these people and everyone else, those who came as participants in our pilgrimage, and for those who remain at home and throughout Europe, and to see all of the points of light and to feel that we are oming with the second Om to empower all of those people in Europe that are going to be serving Master's work there. And the third one, let's feel that we are all serving, and all of those people are serving, to send Master's blessing and Swamiji's blessing out to the whole world. Thank you, Master. Thank you, Swamiji. And thank all of you for the service that you are giving to spread Master's light throughout the world.